but again, I don't want to block your camera view. And I'll move you if you have to when we start cutting. I need to tilt my head down, and not all the way down, but just a nice slanted tilt. When I'm cutting, I want to use the fine teeth, because the fine teeth, the hair feeds through straighter, where the large teeth, it feeds through a little bit looser. So I'm going to start in the middle, and I'm just going to comb a subsection of hair, and I'm going to put it right in between my two cutting fingers, or my two fingers. I'm going to stabilize that hair. I'm going to make sure that I'm not flipping up, because if I flip up here and cut like this, I'm going to automatically layer that. Do you see how that bottom is going to be longer than where I cut on the top? So I want to really make sure that my fingers are parallel to the floor and nice and straight. So when it's nice and straight, I'm going to line it up with where I want my ending length to be. And I'm going to make sure that hair is nice and straight in between my fingers. I don't have any hair like this. That wouldn't be even, correct? Because I'd have a little bit of slack in there. So just make sure when you do comb, you comb all the way to the scalp. And once you get about halfway down, do you see I'm going to insert my fingers, and I'm going to just follow my fingers right down to my length next to that comb, because that finger is going to keep it nice and straight and the tension. Once I'm ready to cut, they're nice and level with the ground, nice and straight. They're not tilted up or down. Oh, now I gotta redo that. Then my palm of this hand is gonna face down, and my shear again is gonna be parallel to my fingers. I don't want to cut too close because I want to be able to see what I'm cutting, but I want to cut fairly close. So when I'm ready to go, I'm going to do a little cut there, and I'm going to stop at before my second knuckle. I just created my guide. Now I want to create this straight line as I work my way to the left and as I work my way to the right. Doesn't matter which way you go first. No, it does not. All that matters is that you're keeping your fingers nice and straight. So as I move to the left, I'm not moving my body because everything is going to be cut straight back, okay? I'm going to take a little bit of that guide as I move my fingers over. Do you see where I see my little guide there? And I'm gonna start up from that guide. And by me saying start up from that guide, I don't wanna skip that guide. So it's just like this. When you draw a straight line on a piece of paper, I know I'm not very good at it, well, I can cut a straight line, but I can't draw a straight line. So if I stop, okay, if I stop drawing that straight line, but I want to go back and continue drawing that straight line, I cannot start here, can I? Because there'll be a little space. It's the same way with cutting hair. I cannot cut hair, get my guide, and then not start up where my last guide ended. So in order to connect those lines, I got to start cutting exactly with my shear where I left off. So you're not cutting into your guide, but you're cutting alongside or right in line with it. Does everyone understand that? So if you don't start up where your guide exactly quit, what happens is you get longer, 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 and you end up having little divots in your line, in your straight line. So really make sure that you are lining your fingers as you move to the left. I have my guide. I'm making sure my fingers are still parallel and straight to the floor. My comb goes in my thumb, and I'm not cutting into the guide, but do you see where my shears is lining right straight up with that guide? So I don't have any steps, and that line is nice and solid and straight, and it all connects together. Grab the side hair, again, pulling it straight back, making sure my fingers are level, and I see my guide, and I'm cutting. Move my fingers over, following my hair down, 0 degree. My fingers are right up against that client's back, or today our stand, making sure it's 0 degree. I'm gonna grab in the middle. This is where I'm gonna start. Again, making sure those fingers are level, and I can't see my guide, so I should be cutting. I'm gonna back up my fingers a little bit, and do you see where now I can see my guide? And again, making sure that I'm going and connecting that guide. Bring some back. Make sure my fingers are level and I'm connecting that guide. Once I have cut, I want to bring my entire guide with my 2 fingers together and at 0 degree to make sure that it's even. And what do you see? Do you guys see a little bit of a longer piece on one side?
Your left.
It's the left on the screen.
Oh.
So, sorry, I didn't even think about that. But my right.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit longer on my right. So I will tell you a little secret. People who are right-handed are gonna have trouble with the right side. And I won't say trouble as, you know, you're gonna get it all wrong, but what happens is you're either longer or shorter on one side or the other. So your side to check at always is gonna be your dominant side. So I'm right-handed, so my 9 times out of 10, if something is off, it's gonna be on my right side. If you're left-handed, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna happen on your left side. So really making sure that you're checking, I call it your trouble side, and making sure everything is nice, balanced, and even. So I'm a little bit longer, I bring it together, nice straight line, and I find out where I start to get longer, and it's about right in there. So I'm gonna go back into that place. And I'm gonna just take, and I can see it there, so I'm gonna just take little by little, because it wasn't much, and I'm going to follow it exactly like I did before, from where it started to sway longer, all the way out, and cut that a little bit shorter. And now, when I bring it down to check it, I have a nice straight line. Everything is balanced, everything, all the sides are balanced, and everything is even. Questions? So once I check it, I can go on to my next section. My next section is gonna be about right below that crown to the top of the ear. And I say to the top of the ear because we do not want to bring any of that hair from the front in. So we have to stop at the top of the ear because all the hair that falls in front of the ear is considered to be my front, and we don't want to bring that in yet. So we'll do 2 subsections in the back and 2 subsections on the front with having the front in there. So, all right, so bring it right to the top. Again, making sure that you're level. You don't have one side that is higher than the other. Making sure I don't have any hair hanging. And now the hair is starting to dry a little bit. What should I do? Make sure I spray it down. And not only at the root, at the end as well. I mean, you don't want it dripping all over the floor, but you definitely want it to be consistently wet all the way from roots to ends. And what happens is the ends start to dry faster than the roots. So really make sure that you're watching those ends. All right, so always want to start where? Middle back, yes. My head is always tilted down when I'm working in the back. And I always want to use the large teeth or the fine teeth? Fine teeth. So I'm going to go into the middle. And now when I follow my fingers, do you see what I see? My guide. If I can't see that guide, again, I need to resection a subsection and take less hair so until I can see that guide that I follow. So down the middle, I see my guide, and I still have to make sure that my fingers are parallel and I'm cutting in line with my guide. Don't cut into your guide, but don't make sure you're not tilting your fingers. Make sure that they're nice and straight and parallel to that floor. And again, everything is back. My body does not move. Hold everything straight back from where it's going to live. this back and down. Making sure I'm checking before I go, and I have a little long piece on the side here. Of course, it's my right side. So I'm gonna go back in and grab that long piece, double check, and I'm good to go. Really make sure that you stay put when you're cutting a one length 0 degree in the back, because what happens if you start to cut over here and over here and over here, do you see how much hair it tells me when I'm holding the hair over here to cut in line with my guide? It's gonna be really, really short as you get to the front. So with my head being down and I'm making sure I'm pulling everything straight back and just drawing that line straight across the back, I'm making sure that when my client puts their head up and it's straight and I start working to the front, all of that is going to be nice and even. If you move your body when you're cutting in this back, I will guarantee that your sides will get shorter and shorter and shorter as you go up, as you work your way up to the front. So really make sure that you stand right in the middle. There's no reason to move side to side. Everything is just gonna come back. We move our hands over a little bit as we draw our straight line. Any questions? All right, my next section is going to be my horseshoe. So I can pretty much just bring in those sides and all the way around. I see. And I don't know if I'm right, but I'll try. These be my mirror, am I straight on both sides or not really? Am I even? Oh, I'm all right. Not too bad. All right, again, I want to make sure that all of this is clipped up and away, and I also want to make sure that it is nice and wet. Another thing I want to mention when cutting hair is we never want to put our comb or our shear down. Once we start, it all has to stay in our hand, and that's why it's really, really important that you have control over all of your tools at the same time, and really practice if you are fumbling with flipping your shear or maneuvering your comb, transferring your comb from hand to hand. Please take time at home and practice that. In a week, it will be like I said, a habit that you created. All right, so starting where? Middle back, okay. All right. And we're going to stand in front of our work. And like I said, if I don't have any hair to cut, I don't do what? I don't cut it. I have a tiny little one pieces here that I'm gonna take off, and I travel, not moving my body, just moving my hands over, following that guide. And where is my stopping point? Back of the ear. Once I reach the back of the ear, my head is gonna go up, and I'm gonna turn my head, because I'm going to either, when I'm in the lab, I'm gonna step to the side, or I can turn my chair and just stay in that one spot too. So turn my head, make sure it's nice and straight, it's not down, it's not tilted at all. And now I'm gonna start where I left off. And make sure that I see my guide from in back. And I'm gonna make sure my fingers are parallel, and I'm gonna follow that forward. Now, what happens on these sides a lot without you even knowing, so really check your body position, check your finger angle, because what happens is people cut like this or like this, and they don't even know it, especially on that one side. If you're left-handed, it'll be your left side. If you're right-handed, it'll be your right side. To really, really, really be vigilant on how your fingers are angled. And make sure that they go straight across. Cutting in the back, start in the middle. That hand is straight down. I don't have any hair, but I'm gonna check anyway. Couple little strands, we'll get those. We're behind the ear. Head is gonna come up. I'm gonna turn the head so I'm facing it. Make sure it's nice and straight. Start where I left off. Make sure my fingers are parallel. And I travel forward. Before I move on to my final step, I need to make sure that both sides are even. So face your client, bring your two fingers down, and also I want you to face your client to the mirror and use your mirror to bring your two fingers down and kind of watch in the mirror if that's even or not. Once that's done, we're gonna take the rest, final section, wet it down, and where are we gonna start? In the back middle. All right. Head down. Back middle. Follow my guide. When I get to the behind the ear, how does my head go? Straight up. I'm gonna turn it. And this section should be pretty easy because I've already created a guide underneath. But I still need to maintain my body position and make sure that my fingers are following that guide straight out and are level. Start in the back middle, I work to my left side. Head up. Straight out. And when I'm cutting on the sides, where should my body position be?
On the side.
On the side, for sure. I'm just not standing in front of the camera. Make sure that I'm even on both sides. And make sure that I'm even in the back. Looks good. And I just did the 0 degree haircut. Any questions? All right.